Battle Cats, in case you weren't aware, is a mobile game that features in-app purchases. Despite that title, Battle Cats is a game that's surprisingly very free-to-play friendly, so you can play the game just fine without having to spend a single penny. But the option to spend money is still always an option and staring at you constantly in the shadows, so my question is, what purchases are worth their price and what is overpriced? Before we start, I just want to say, I do not recommend making any purchases mentioned in this video. It's not smart to spend all your money on a free-to-play game, is what a loser would say. Gamble all of your money away. 99% of gamblers quit before they hit it big. Firstly, we have the typical cat food purchases that you find in the bottom right corner of the main menu. These are probably the first thing you think of when you think of microtransactions in a ton of mobile games. Even though these are basically the stereotypical spend real coin to get gem type of microtransactions, there's not really a lot to write home about, and the pricing seems to be standard, although a little overpriced for today's standards. It's a mobile game, of course it's overpriced. Otherwise, I would not recommend making a purchase here since it's, like I said, overpriced. Considering how many events there are that basically give out cat food like candy, such as anniversaries and download milestones, as well as playing the damn game, it makes me wonder why anyone would want to make a purchase here. So I wouldn't personally recommend you purchase cat food straight up, as it's most of the time a bad deal. Although that's not going to stop the YouTubers that have way too much money on their hands. Look, I understand. We all have to unfortunately resist the masculine urge to drop $100 on fighting felines. But you can't. Next, we have those bundles that popular YouTubers with tons of money spend their money on for some reason. I like to personally call these things special bargains that go for $20, $40, $80 each. Did you know that Ponos thinks that 1 million XP is worth $50? Even though you can easily get that amount more via playing a couple XP grinding stages? I guess that explains why the XP in the item shop is super expensive. The additional materials can easily be obtained through minimal grinding, and also, the 4,000 cat food being $132 in value is just plain wrong. 4,000 cat food does not cost $132. I'm assuming these deals are very old considering they are literally offering cat fruit. In other words, I heavily do not recommend making any purchases from these bundles as they're insanely overpriced and not worth it. Don't let these big numbers and deals fool you. You're not getting your money's worth from these, unless they're matché. Otherwise, go right ahead and make that expensive purchase for your audience of children. Next, we have the Officer's Pass, or Gold Pass, or whatever you want to call it. This is a unique type of purchase because it's a subscription service, baby, that you have to pay monthly for. It gives you 600 cat food, infinite speed-ups, and a rare ticket for $10 a month. The infinite speedups are nice for speeding up gameplay, obviously, and it gives access to the triple speed power-up in main gameplay, instead of exclusively being behind certain events. It definitely makes grinding faster. The 600 cat food a month is decent additional cash flow, and the extra rare ticket is a little nice bonus. This all sounds nice, but my main problem is that it costs a whole whopping $10 a month, which is pretty damn pricey for the average person. $10 a month is also $120 a year, which is still somehow cheaper than Netflix. Kind of think of it, Netflix does have that Scott Pilgrim show, so... But do you really want to spend that money on cat game? Please don't answer that question. Another deal that's actually really popular are the Platinum Ticket and Legend Ticket sales. They cost $8 for both, and they usually come with something extra like cat food or XP. But who cares about that? We all know why people buy these. Even then, they're kind of pricey by today's standards, but are made even less valuable thanks to the existence of Platinum Shards, where you can basically get 2 Platinum Tickets a year if you do the monthly gauntlets, as well as for free during events. That's obviously a potential free Uber every 5 months or so, which makes me wonder, why would you want to purchase a Platinum Ticket in the modern meta? Maybe you got 50 NP instead of your desired top tier, I don't know. Legend tickets basically aren't any different. They only have a 5% chance for a legend rare drop, so don't bother with them. You're not gonna get that guaranteed legend rare, unfortunately. But for some reason, JB can get legend tickets for free while we just get platinum tickets again from anniversary. I swear to God, it's always anniversary. Could this be bias, maybe? Wow, Frosty, these deals don't seem to be worth it at all. What's the deal with that? did I accidentally seriously make a pun there? Oh my god. Yeah, something I want to mention is that a ton of these microtransactions are heavily targeted towards early game players. Most players have probably started to playing after seeing their favorite YouTuber get a sponsor from them. You also see these YouTubers make these massive purchases like the ones that I mentioned before, and whether you think so or not, Battle Cats has a massive kids audience, and those kids are impressionable. I and many of you may know that these deals aren't worth it a lot of the time, but early game players don't know that, and unfortunately, since they don't know any better, and early game can be rough for people who are new to the game, they tend to make these irresponsible purchases, which they end up regretting later on. I feel this is important to mention because this personally recontextualizes early game for me, as truth be told, this is sort of an unfortunate standard practice in mobile games in general. It's also important to note that 95% of players that download the game are people that quit early game, so many of these purchases are purposefully designed around these players. With that being said, here's some honorable or more dishonorable mentions. Firstly, we have those deals that appear when you struggle on a stage. They cost $5 for a leadership and an infinite amount of a specific power-up for 1 hour. I believe the options are Sniper, Rich, and Cat CPU, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. If you have ever purchased any of these, you have an insane skill issue. I'm sorry, but you are beyond saving. There's also those $1 rare ticket sales that were kind of alright in my opinion, but as soon as you unlock Dark Cat's Eyes, it actually becomes a good deal, as it's $1 for both a rare ticket and a Dark Cat's Eye. Dark Cat's Eyes are insanely valuable and hard to come by, so having an option to get one for cheap is really nice. One more level for my Mola King, I suppose. Another deal are those rank up deals for when you obtain new user rank rewards, which are honestly not worth mentioning because once again, it's overpriced and not worth it. I honestly don't know anything else that's noteworthy to talk about, like what's so special about Champion Sale, be real here. Lastly, we have probably the most distinct purchase in the entire game, which are what I like to call premium units. Premium units are essentially the units that are locked behind a paywall, as you can only obtain these units by paying for them. I want to firstly say I'm not going to be talking about the Soccerel Planet units, Wafer Cat, Gummy Cat, and that one egg unit I don't know the name of. By the way, they were an egg unit before it became cool, so either because I don't have them for being years old, or they're JP exclusive. I guess there's technically more incentive to purchase these because there's an exclusive unit locked behind it. But how good these units are probably won't dictate how good the deals are, since we're talking about the whole package and not a part of it. So firstly, we have probably the most popular example in this list I've compiled for these units, which is Gacha Cat. Gacha Cat is a unit that's available during anniversary events, it never ends, and has the ability to knock back all traded enemies, and by himself has a ton of flaws such as HP and single target. But that's not the reason you use him. You use him for the cat combo he has. I mean, it's not really a cat combo if it requires only one unit. The cat combo is a starting money small combo, and it's useful because it's only one slot and gives a small cash boost at the beginning of battle. But that same effect can be achieved for free. I mean, you have to get lucky with gacha, ironically enough, but you get the idea. Using Rich Cat Senior's cat combos. Other than that, the package itself comes with 750 cat food and 1 million XP, which sounds nice until you realize that the entire deal costs a whole $16. $16 is kind of expensive for what's offered, and what's offered honestly isn't very enticing, so I'd probably pass for practicality. Crazy how the literal gacha unit is something that you have to directly pay for. The next premium unit I want to talk about is Principal Cat. Principal Cat is a unit that's available during the Heartbeat Cat Academy event. Definitely rolls off the tongue well, and has strong against these traits and has these immunities. He's a very unique unit because he actually has something that no other unit to my knowledge has, which are amplified stats from leveling. What that means is that while most units have consistent stats per level, units with these amplified stats gain way higher stats when leveling up at certain points. That's interesting, but that doesn't help with the usual issues that the Titan clones face, such as high cost and recharge. Otherwise, he mostly functions as a combo slave with his 5-slot large research combo, which you can easily achieve this effect for free with multiple small research combos. His deal comes with 30 cat CPUs and 5 leaderships for a semi-reasonable $5. The 30 CPUs is kind of nice for today's meta considering we have gold CPUs now, and the 5 leaderships are also nice, but the deal as a whole is mostly a maybe for me. Wow, a ton of these deals are way more overpriced than I thought. It's almost like the point of a gacha game is to take your money. Or maybe I'm just broke, I don't know. One last premium unit I want to discuss is Dotty Cat. Dotty Cat is a unit that was available during the Tower of Saviors collab and has strong against angels as well as these immunities. Out of all the units we've discussed, he's probably the most standard unit with nothing of particular to note. Basically, he's just a worse version of Ramen in every way, apart from the immunities, but that doesn't matter when Ramen can counter those threats just fine. His deal comes with 50 cat food and 300,000 XP for only $3, but I actually refuse to believe that this guy has an actual affordable deal. $3 isn't a bad price, and the unit is kind of okay, but Ramen is still better and is a unit that you should use instead. Otherwise, there's nothing else I can really say about this unit. Also, he doesn't get the positive level scaling like Principal Cat, which is sad. I think that's all I want to talk about when it comes to cat game in-app purchases, so thanks for watching. Now if you excuse me, I have some cash to burn. I'm running low on cat food and I need to do an 11 roll. Wow, I really am broke.